Hello everybody, welcome to my very first video. I recently had this awesome GT3 race as a practice session for a league I will be joining, and I've always wanted to make a video like this, and so let's dive straight into it. As the lights go out and away we go. We're currently on board with me in the Renault GT3. It feels like a really awesome stable car, taking it a bit more cautiously through the first few corners because it's the first lap and it's going to be a 20-minute race, so we don't want to take any unnecessary risks. As we can see here on the right side, Eisenschenk with the Bentley diving up next to me. As I have a bit of contact with Jetlin, who's also in the Renault I think. I run him a little bit too narrow out of that corner, should have given him a little bit more space. But luckily I keep it out of the barriers and we are still in the race. Since this is the first lap, I can definitely gain back some positions from people having contact, because in the first lap it is so crowded and there are a lot of cars really close to each other. There's bound to happen some crazy stuff, as we will see later in the lap. And as we exit the sharp right-hander, you can see we are already gaining on the cars in front. As we now head up into a section which always causes some mayhem on the first lap, as we see Eisenschenk on the right side. He had some really tough times trying to get control and stability in his Bentley. As we see some more people on the left, and we gain massively on this blue Mercedes. As we will now cut to the side view, because Eisenschenk has caught up with us already. He is a really fast driver who I really always enjoy racing against. And he has his amazing yellow lights on, which look amazing in that car. As you can see, he is right on my bumper through that last final very tactical section. As I am struggling through this section, the last corner onto the finish line, you can see I'm losing a bit of the rear of the car and he is really right on me. But unfortunately here in this corner he will lose it over the curbs as I run right, a little bit wide, as the people in front of me do as well. Which was a shame because he dropped back because of that, and I gain massively on this Mercedes in front. As you can see, in front we have Jetlin and some other people battling it out, which enables me to really close the gap. As you will see on this back straight, I'm gaining massively in the slipstream on the Lambo. So I decide to pull to the right to see if a move on the inside is available. The Lambo was very early on the brakes. I pulled to the right hand side, both going side to side through that corner, which gives me a bit of a narrow run out of it. And the Lambo has a much better run, as you can see him coming into my screen on the left hand side. I lift off the throttle to get a better exit here to maybe try and overtake him here. He runs a bit wide, which gives him a very awkward entry to that corner as he spins it. We go around the outside and avoid him. In the back we can see Dagger also in the Renault with a white and red and yellow livery. We will be seeing much more of him later in this race. We had a really awesome battle. As we enter the difficult section of the track, I shift down to first with this first mistake, and then I spin it on the apex on the inside, which is a very tricky apex. You don't want to hit too much, especially not in first gear in this car, which makes me lose my position to Dagger. But as we then fast forward another lap, we can see that me and Dagger have gained on Chris in front, who is driving the Porsche. And because Dagger and Chris are battling really hard, and that is making them lose time. As you can see here in this corner, I gain massively on them because I don't have to defend from anyone. I can take the optimal line as Dagger and Christie have contact, and Christie goes off to the track. Dagger has a really bad exit here, which means that I have slipstream and a better exit. So I'm gaining on him massively into this next prime overtaking opportunity. I go to the right hand side, outbrake him, and get the move done. As we will now switch to Dagger's point of view, because the following car is always the much more exciting car to watch. As we can see, my Please No Punterino sticker on the back of my car with the livery I have made for this car. I'm going on a defensive line here, which makes me go really deep into the corner, which enables Dagger to really close up to me. We're almost going side to side into the next corner. Dagger just backs out of it to give me a little bit of space as I go to the inside for the next corner, which is the best way to defend for that corner. There is some banking, so it is possible to do around the outside, but it is very difficult to pull it off. And in front we now see Marley, who is pulling into the pits. Marley is a really fast driver who had some damage, which made him go into the pits. As we can see, Dagger is all over me. He will brake a little bit earlier into this corner just because he doesn't know where my usual braking point is, as I go a little bit wide on that curb. This is a way to find out the braking points of your opponent, and especially in that corner, if you don't know it, you don't want to follow too closely because it will end in you two hitting each other, because it's a very difficult corner to follow. As we now go onto the back straight, Dagger is in my slipstream, I think, but I just managed to get a little bit better exit because he had some little bit of a loose rear in that previous corner. But as we can see in this corner, he is taking a way straighter line braking and a later apex, which enables him to have a better exit out of the slow right-hander, and he is gaining on me, which was very obvious in this race that Dagger had the superior pace over me. But since this track you can really defend your position, it really gave us some really great racing. As he is also gaining on me through this corner. Well, in my slipstream for the next corner, it's very hard to overtake someone here, so he's just following me, waiting for that next corner. Here it's coming. I again go to the inside to defend, which seems to do the trick. He is just not going to be able to put it alongside me, as we see me struggling with my car and with my balance in the car. As I get a really tight exit out of this corner, Dagger is just behind me, and he now knows my braking point, so he can follow me much more closely through the next corner. Let's see how it goes. As I drift wide and go over the curb, almost losing the car, trying to hold on to it, Dagger is able to pull on alongside me into the next corner, braking in the inside, and he gets the move done, as we will now switch to my onboard view, following Dagger well in the slipstream. I'm trying to get him back into that next very sharp right-hander with the braking zone, just the way I did before by overtaking him. I'm well in his slipstream, gaining on him. But as I pull onto the right side, I see that we brake at the same point, which means it's probably not going to be possible to overtake him, as I give him a little tap because he slows down a bit more than I expected him to in that corner, which enables him to pull a little gap on me, which will give him a bit of breathing space for the next few corners. As I take a way better line through this corner than the previous one, as he is trying to take control of his car. It's very slidey through that sector for him there. As it's now my turn to follow him through the difficult section, I take a much more tighter line through there. And as we can see, someone hit the 50-meter board on the right there. So my braking point is gone, which means I am braking a bit earlier to be sure I don't overshoot the corner. As you can see, sometimes on the left of the track or on the right you can see these little boards with 150, 150. And as drivers we use those boards to know at which points we have to brake for the corner. And maybe someone had a spin and hit some of them, as you can see here on the left. And through this next corner I have a much better exit than Dagger, as we will now go onto the braking zone. And again on the braking I'm gaining massively on Dagger, which will put me in his slipstream for the next long back straight, to see if we can close that gap and maybe pull off a move. We're really behind him, so I doubt I will be able to pull off a move right here. So I'm just going to try and follow him and lose as little time as possible and see if he makes a mistake on which I can capitalize, as I am gaining massively on the braking, more than I expected, and I have to avoid him in that corner, making my line a little bit more awkward through that corner and losing a lot of precious time. As we now go back to the side view camera, it's really awesome to see these cars so close to each other. The GT3 racing produces some really close racing because you don't have a lot of dirty air and you can really follow the cars around. As you will see through the next difficult third section in LMP2 cars, this would be much more difficult. As you can see also in that corner, I take a much more tighter line and way closer to the apex than Dagger does, which means I am more focused on corner entry and he is more focused on corner exit. As I go wide, I totally miss the apex on the entry of that corner, which makes me go wide and go onto the dirt, which gives me dirty tires and makes me lose a lot of time. As we fast forward to a few laps later, as we can see Gus de Blot making a mistake and me overtaking him because of it. Gus de Blot has an amazing stream on Twitch, make sure to follow him. He always streams the races of his point of view and sometimes does the commentary on our races as well. Really funny guy, definitely check him out. So thank you so much guys for watching this. This has been kind of a video project I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I had this really great GT3 race which I thought would be the perfect opportunity to try this. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this kind of stuff and if you have any feedback. And well, I hope to see you guys next time, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.